linear anticipation building concurrent with the anticipation bar loading. Keeps going
that's
up.
getting a little
it's
bit more
going
complicated than I can handle right now. We're getting into math area.
I mean graphs, that's what I do.
Graphs and things, I don't know, man. Give me a pie chart any day, though. It's okay.
There's some sweet pie charts at GOM BT Does recently.
Nice.
All right, down here at the bottom right-hand corner of Crevasse, we have our Teal Terran player from Team Evil Geniuses. That is Puma.
All right, and at the top right part of the map, from the Team Liquid.net, we have our Zerg player. Give it up for Liquid Sheth.
All right, so we got some Sheth and Puma fans out there, and this promises to be, wow, this is, I'm not saying anything wrong against the other matches that we've casted so far, but this is probably going to be the best match we've casted today.
Well, you know, it's certainly players that have been drawing a lot of attention today. They've both been playing really, really well. Everyone's excited to see who's going to come out on top in this match because, I mean, these guys, you know, I'm just repeating myself now, but they both played really well. So when you get two players meeting like this, it almost always results in really good games.
Yeah.
I think we're guaranteed to see it here.
Sheth is showing that he's on top form as well, knocking off the guy who's #1 NA Grandmaster at the moment, that is the Muslim. So
that's true too.
So Sheth certainly has shown us what he likes to do against Terran players, but on this map, he actually lost to a well, he ended up going into Roach Ling. It didn't work out as well as he would have liked after he lost that big engagement. I would expect we're going to see a little more traditional macro-oriented game here rather than that just super mid-game aggression.
Well, probably. I mean, Puma's really not the type of Terran player to go for that bio-aggression either. He generally likes to play more standard Marine tank style. Some of the Koreans have been kind of toying around with mech and TVZ. I don't know if this is necessarily the right map for it. These positions might be okay, but we'll have to see what he has planned. Either way, I mean,
well, I was just going to say that, you know, the Muslim kind of invited. Oh, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, no problem.
Oh, good. The Muslim kind of invited in that aggression a little bit in the game against Sheth on this map because he did decide to go for that very, very fast 3 base. I think we'll see a little bit more predictable timings from Puma. We'll find out, though, I guess. We do have that expansion about halfway done now for Sheth. Decided to put down Pool after that, so he's not going to go into super quick speedlings, but he is going to have a nice economic basis with which to move into a macro game.
Yeah, and the nice thing with the positions here for Sheth is that his third is going to be away from his opponent, whereas the third for E.G. Puma is actually going to be towards his opponent. Yeah. So that might be something that comes into play a little bit later in the game as well. We'll have to wait and see. Looks like Sheth probably going to be wanting for a pretty quick Zergling speed again, or, you know, we could see him go Roaches as well. He's done it before.
Very well could. We do see nothing too out of the ordinary from Puma. He has, you know, actually this is kind of interesting. I take that back a little bit. Because he's adding a second gas, and I thought he was just going to drop down the reactor, but when he threw down that second gas, tells me we're going to see actually more tech here in a second. He's even saving up another 100 gas, so they move right into Marine tank mode if he throws down a tech lab. We could also have a starport added here in just a second.
The really interesting thing with what Puma's doing right now, in my opinion, is that he didn't produce a second Marine for a long time. He saved out those minerals to get enough for that starport. Now he's producing his second Marine. So a really fast 1-1-1 for Puma. That's such a fast starport. I would have to imagine we're going to see some Banshees.
And we do have Roaches coming out of Sheth now, but Puma Scout did not see that. So he is not going to be privy to this unit composition. We have a tech lab being added down as well. Looks like that's going to finish up just when the starport does. We'll probably see a transition in tech here in just a second.
Yeah, if it's fast enough, you can squeeze a Hellion out before you put the tech lab down on the factory. It might be a little bit slower. Yeah, that looks like starport finishes a little bit earlier, but nothing wrong at all for that. And Puma really kind of taking advantage of the fact that a lot of Zergs have been getting those early Roaches lately because, you know, there's one thing Roaches aren't really good at, and that's shooting at air units.
Yeah. And here we go, though. Cloaked Banshee's going to come out. Already Cloak is on the way. You have a bunker being constructed as well, so if another scout gets in for Sheth, or even just up to the front of the ramp, he's going to see that bunker and know that some sort of tech is coming out. The Roaches are already out on the field. Looks like he was more prepared to defend against Hellions, but as those haven't come quite yet, he is going to start moving out to the middle of the map.
Well, Puma is just playing this absolutely flawlessly. He's got the bunker up in plenty of time to spare. He's getting Cloak as well. And, I mean, right now, there's just one Queen per base. So, I mean, a Banshee can take on a Queen. by itself, and with Cloak, of course, he might be able to actually snipe both queens, do tons of damage.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah.
Do we have an evolution chamber out, though? No
Not
evolution
yet.
chamber. Not
Nope.
even an inkling of layer tech on the way. So that's going to be a very slow transition. Sheth, though, he is going to make his way up and start attacking the supply depots. But with the increased range from the bunker, these Marines are going to do so much damage. Sheth actually going to lose one of his roaches right away. The other one's being attacked as the Banshee makes its way into Sheth's base. And Cloak is not quite done yet, but nonetheless, he is going to kill quite a few units in the meantime.
Yeah, that is perfectly fine, actually, that there's no Cloak yet. Look at that, just going right after the queen. Sheth knows. He pulls the second queen right away. Now Cloak is done, so Puma will be able to cloak that Banshee. The roaches have fallen back from his choke, so now it's just all about the damage that this Banshee's going to do.
No.
8 kills, 9 kills.
Counting with Doa.
10 kills.
Yes, that Banshee is going to remain up, but nonetheless, we do have our first Spore Crawler finally being added to the mix, another one being put down into natural as well, but already this Banshee has more than paid for itself. 15 kills now. Taking a look at the units tab, yeah, 24 workers to 29. Puma going to be on his second base very, very soon as well.
And you know what? The second Banshee is already in as well. I mean, this is going to do so much damage to Liquid Sheth. The Spore Crawler does finish, so Puma's going to need to move that Banshee away. Whoa, is he going to lose it?
Wow, that actually got really, really close, down to just 2 hit points.
Wow.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, a Spore is finished at the main as well.
26 kills on Banshee number 1.
Commander Banshee, that is intimidating, man.
And here we have it. Let's take a look. Sheth did decide to go to his third base, but he's backed by 5 workers at the moment. Of course, he doesn't have an attack force to speak of, and won't be able to commit over to that for quite a while. He is going to stick in this, though, as the hatchery, turning itself into a layer at the moment, so we'll try and tech up in a second, or at least get some upgrades.
Yeah, when it was all said and done, 27 drones killed by EG Puma. 1 SCV did get lost in there somewhere, probably just a scouting SCV. And when we look at the worker count, though, Sheth with 33 drones, Puma with 35 SCVs. So Sheth really, really just droning up a ton and not getting too far behind. He's still not in that bad of a spot.
Well, no, I mean, he's playing a very, very solid macro game. However, if Puma were actually just to move up with everything he's got right now, Sheth just would not be prepared. So, I mean, in all reality, even though Sheth has found a way to macro his way back into this, and he is producing quite a few drones at the moment, Puma is still very, very far ahead. And looks like, certainly. But here we have it. Sheth trying to make his way back however he can.
Those Banshees for Puma, they are pretty scary. You know, the other Banshee, though, she only has 2 kills. She's just a recruit. She's got a lot to live up for. She's got a great example with the Banshee that came before her, but will she be able to live up to her parents' expectations? That's the big question. Yeah.
Seems like you never can these days.
I know, that's what she's got to worry about. She's going after the Queen, though.
And the Queen trying to retreat back to the Spore Crawler, but Puma could actually just take the last shot and then get out of there. Looks like he will. No, it's going to happen here in just a second, I would imagine, though. The Queen's very, very close to dying. There we go. The Queen goes down. Yeah.
Now, killing all these Queens, you know, like you mentioned, is going to make the follow-up push that EG Puma is going to do that much more powerful, just for the simple fact that there's not going to be enough larvae to produce the units that Sheth is going to need to defend against this.
And on top of this, he even had a Viking running out across the map that has 2 kills, so Sheth was actually quite supply blocked there for a while.
And
Banshee
here it comes.
Very low in health.
Here comes that 2-base push from EG Puma. Very standard 2-base push. A little bit of a Marine tank medevac action. And you know what? I don't know if Sheth really has anything to defend against this. If we look at the unit counting station, only 3 roaches and 19 zerglings out right now to defend against this.
Yeah, certainly. And now Sheth is going to need to sacrifice his economy for the foreseeable future just to be able to produce enough units to hold off the first wave of this attack. Here we go. Puma's going to start sieging himself up. He's got a great spot on the high ground. He's going to start leapfrogging those tanks forward as he moves under the cover of these Marines. There's the scan.
And he's going to get a lot of creep tumors here. Now the Spire did just finish, but Sheth really can't afford to make those mutas right now, just trying to make enough links to survive. Oh, the Marine's getting a little bit out in the middle. Oh, nice pickup with those medevacs, but it does leave the tanks very, very vulnerable. Looks like he will lose at least 2 of those. No, he's going to lose all 3.
He loses all 3, but he cleans up the entire attack force from Sheth.
Yep.
Up by now 34 supply.
Baneling Nest is not done yet, so these Marines are going to be really scary.
Yeah, certainly. There's actually only 9 Zerglings on the field. A few more were just added to the mix, but the Marines are cutting them down as soon as they pop up.
GG.
And there's the GG exclamation mark smiley face.
It kind of looks like a smiley face with like sort of a side swept hair kind of thing. I don't know, but either way, Sheth's the madder guy.